My student, listen up. It's been 10 years since I first stepped into the WWE ring. 10周年や。Through that time, I have continued to carve my name as the Empress of Tomorrow. その名の通り、未来を作って時代。
Opening, 10 years. A decade of dominance. A reign of terror wrapped in war paint and a smile that promises destruction. She didn't ask for your respect, she took it. She didn't wait for permission to become a legend, she carved her name into the bones of every opponent who dared stand across from her. And tonight, we're diving deep into the phenomenon that changed women's wrestling forever. This is the story of how one woman from Osaka became the most feared competitor in sports entertainment history. This is ASUKA's 10th anniversary, and by the time this video ends, you'll understand why her legacy isn't just continuing, it's becoming immortal. But before we relive the chaos, the brutality, and the moments that made you jump out of your seats, I need you to do something for me. I need you to be part of this journey. Hit that subscribe button right now. Smash that notification bell. Because every single week, we bring you the stories that matter, the breakdowns that go deeper, and the passion that reminds you why you fell in love with wrestling in the first place. The SLAMZONE family is growing, and we want you in it. Drop a comment down below telling me your favorite ASUKA moment. Share this with every wrestling fan you know who needs to remember what greatness looks like. Let's build something special together. Now, let's get into this. Close your eyes for a second and take yourself back. Take yourself back to that moment when you first saw her. The lights dim. The arena pulses with anticipation. And then that music hits. The distorted voice, the hypnotic rhythm, and suddenly she's there moving through the fog like something that crawled out of your nightmares and decided to make a home in the wrestling ring. The mask, the robe, the colors that seem to glow against the darkness. But it's her eyes that get you. Those eyes that tell you she's not here to entertain you. She's here to hurt people. ASUKA didn't arrive in WWE with fanfare and red carpets. She arrived like a hurricane that had been gathering strength for years across the Pacific, waiting for the perfect moment to make landfall and destroy everything in its path. And destroy she did. From the very beginning, there was something different about her. Something that made you lean forward in your seat. Something that made your heart beat just a little bit faster when her music hit. NXT. That's where the legend was forged. That's where we first witnessed what would become the most dominant streak in modern wrestling history. Match after match, opponent after opponent, ASUKA didn't just win, she dismantled. She broke spirits before she broke bodies. Watch her in those early NXT matches and you'll see something raw, something primal. Every strike lands with intention. Every submission hold gets cinched in with a precision that makes you wince just watching it. The hip attacks that became her signature weren't just moves, they were statements. They said, I'm faster than you thought, harder than you prepared for, and more dangerous than you can possibly imagine. Remember Bayley? The huggable champion who represented everything pure about professional wrestling? ASUKA took the championship from her at NXT TakeOver Dallas, and you could feel the shift in the arena. The crowd knew they were watching something special. The way ASUKA stalked her prey, the way she absorbed Bayley's offense and smiled through the pain, the way she locked in that ASUKA lock and refused to let go until Bayley had no choice but to tap out. That wasn't just a title change. That was a coronation. But here's where it gets insane. Here's where the story becomes legendary. She didn't stop. She couldn't stop. Opponent after opponent fell. Emma, Nia Jax, Mickie James, Nikki Cross, it didn't matter who they put in front of her. The streak grew. The mystique deepened. Every week, every takeover, ASUKA proved that she wasn't just the best in NXT. She was operating on a completely different level. You can feel the energy building as the months roll by. The commentators start talking about the streak in hushed, reverent tones. 510 days as NXT Women's Champion. Undefeated. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? In an industry where champions trade titles like trading cards, where booking decisions change on a dime, where injuries and storylines can derail everything overnight, ASUKA went 510 days without losing. Not once. Not by countout, not by disqualification, not by fluke roll-up. She was untouchable. The match against Ember Moon at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 still gives me chills when I think about it. Ember Moon, the girl who could fly, who brought an athleticism and fearlessness that seemed like it might finally be enough to crack the code. The Eclipse, that devastating finishing move, seemed destined to end the streak. Watch that match again and pay attention to the near falls. The crowd is absolutely electric. Every time Ember gets close, you can hear the arena hold its breath. When she hits that Eclipse and goes for the cover, 20,000 people think it's over. But ASUKA kicks out. The Empress kicks out, and the roof nearly comes off the building. What happens next is poetry written in violence. ASUKA, hurt, desperate, digs deep into that well of ruthless aggression that made her a legend in Japan before WWE even knew her name. She catches Ember. She traps her. The ASUKA lock gets locked in, and despite Ember's struggles, despite her reaching for the ropes, despite everything she tries, there's no escape. Ember taps. The streak continues. ASUKA relinquishes the championship not through defeat but through choice, moving to the main roster with her head held high and her record unblemished. The main roster. That's where most NXT call UPS falter. That's where the machine chews up even the brightest stars and spits them out as afterthoughts. But not ASUKA. She arrived on Monday Night Raw like a force of nature. The Royal Rumble in Philadelphia, she enters at number 26, and for the next 15 minutes, she's unstoppable. Elimination after elimination. She's throwing legends over the top rope like they're training dummies. And when the final bell rings, when confetti falls from the ceiling, ASUKA stands alone as the winner of the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. History made. Legacy cemented. Now, real quick, because I want to make sure you don't miss a single moment of wrestling magic, hit that like button if you're enjoying this deep dive into one of the greatest careers in WWE history. Subscribe to SLAMZONE if you haven't already. We're building something incredible here, a community of fans who love wrestling the way it deserves to be loved, with passion, with knowledge, with heart. Comment below and tell me what storyline you want us to break down next. And share this video with your friends who need to remember why ASUKA is on the Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling. Alright, let's keep going. But here's where the story gets complicated, where the narrative becomes less about perfection and more about perseverance. WrestleMania 34. The biggest stage of them all. Charlotte Flair. The streak ends. And for a moment, the wrestling world doesn't know how to process it. After over 900 days undefeated across NXT and the main roster, ASUKA finally falls. The tap out to the figure 8 felt like watching something sacred get shattered. But legends aren't built on perpetual winning. They're built on how you respond when the world tells you you're done. ASUKA could have faded. She could have become another cautionary tale about how WWE doesn't know what to do with its best talents. Instead, she adapted. She evolved. She reminded everyone that being unbeatable was never what made her special. Being undeniable was what made her special. The SmackDown Women's Championship at the Royal Rumble against Becky Lynch. TLC against Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, where she became SmackDown Women's Champion for the first time. The Raw Women's Championship victory during the pandemic era, where she brought energy and excitement to an empty performance center. Every title reign, every rivalry, every moment added layers to the legend. She formed a tag team with Kairi Sane that brought pure joy and chaos in equal measure. She won the Women's Tag Team Championship alongside them, proving she could dominate in any format. Her matches tell stories that transcend language barriers. Watch her work with Sasha Banks, with Charlotte, with Bianca Belair, with Rhea Ripley. Every single time, she brings something different. The veteran who can still go move for move with anyone. The striker whose kicks sound like gunshots echoing through the arena. The submission specialist who can make you tap from positions you didn't know existed. The entertainer who can make you laugh with her wild promos and then make you forget how to breathe with the intensity she brings between those ropes. 10 years in WWE. Do you understand what that means? In a business where careers are measured in moments and bodies break down faster than anyone wants to admit, ASUKA has been consistently excellent for a decade. She's worked hurt. She's worked through booking decisions that didn't make sense. She's worked in front of sold-out arenas and in front of 0 fans during a pandemic. And through it all, she's never stopped being exactly who she is. Nobody is ready for ASUKA. The war paint isn't just face paint. It's armor. It's intimidation. It's a promise that when the bell rings, the person standing across from her is in for the fight of their life. The mist green, red, black, it's psychological warfare perfected. The smile, that unnerving smile that says she's enjoying your suffering, it's part of what makes her unforgettable. She's created a character that's somehow larger than life while remaining completely authentic. That's rare. That's special. Right now, as we speak, ASUKA continues to redefine what longevity looks like in women's wrestling. When she steps through those ropes, you still get that feeling. You still believe anything can happen. You still know that whoever's across from her better have their absolute best ready, because anything less means they're going to sleep or tapping out. The Empress of Tomorrow earned that nickname not through hype but through a decade of proving it every single night. So what does the next chapter hold? What does year 11, year 12, year 15 look like for someone who's already accomplished everything? More championships, certainly. More incredible matches that we'll be talking about for years to come. Maybe passing the torch to the next generation while simultaneously reminding them why she's still the standard. Maybe surprising us with something we never saw coming, because if there's one thing ASUKA has proven over 10 years, it's that she's constantly evolving. The legend continues because ASUKA refuses to let it end. She refuses to coast on past accomplishments. She refuses to be anything less than extraordinary. And we, as fans, are so fortunate to witness it. This is where legends are made, in that ring, night after night, proving that greatness isn't a destination, it's a journey that never stops demanding excellence. Before we wrap this up, one final time, I need you to hit that subscribe button and join the SLAMZONE family. Hit the notification bell so you never miss when we break down the stories, the matches, and the legends that make wrestling the most incredible form of entertainment on the planet. Like this video if ASUKA's 10-year journey inspired you. Comment below and tell me what her greatest moment has been. Share this with everyone who needs to appreciate what true dominance looks like. We're growing this community together, and every single one of you matters. 10 years of ASUKA. A decade of dominance. A legacy that's still being written. The Empress isn't done. The legend continues. And we'll be here every step of the way to witness greatness. This is SLAMZONE, and this is just the beginning. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring about wrestling the way we do. Now get out there and tell everyone why ASUKA is the best to ever do it. See you in the next one.